So I'm just quite sensitive to the energies of your environment as well. So it's quite nice to experience all these different environments arriving in my living room. So even though I'm like in super social isolation, I got diagnosed with as COVID positive on the 10th of September. And I'm asymptomatic, so no symptoms, but I'm in complete isolation. It's interesting to have all these amazing energies just show up in my living room. Okay. Yes, I am feeling very good, Sean. I think this isolation is actually doing me a lot of good. So the last 3 days until midnight today, my guidance has been to just allow myself to be on various spiritual journeys. It happens to me from time to time when I'm experiencing a series of spiritual awakenings. And I think that is what needed to occur, because I was ready to fly to Delhi and I had a very heavy schedule. And because I was flying to Delhi, I decided to do the test. Because I was going to stay in somebody else's home after several months. And I was not expecting it to be positive, and it was positive. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be isolated. And the interesting thing, what it has done for me is to learn to appreciate that there is reality and there is the communication of reality. And what I found quite amazing is I am the municipal corporation, the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. They came to see me pretty much within hours of my test results. The test was done by a private laboratory, and it is mandatory for all positive cases to be reported to the government. So they came to see me at home, and they were very respectful. Did my oxygen level check, did that of the neighbors and everything. And my oxygen levels were higher than the neighbors, even though I was the one that was positive and nobody else was. From that point on, because I was by myself, they always like to have somebody else observing your condition, but I didn't have anybody else at home. My maid was with me, but since I became positive, it didn't make sense for her to be staying with me. So I sent her home, got her to do the test. She was negative, quite a high count of antibodies in her, but they still would not let her come to see me. So they called me 3 times a day, every single day. The first thing in the morning is to just check if, what my temperature is. They knew that I have my oximeter and stuff, so they asked me to report on what the oxygen levels are. 3 times a day they call me. And it was my 60th birthday yesterday. So I was telling my family that if I needed 60 therapy, I got it from this municipal corporation, because every single day they would call and say, we are so sorry to call you, but you are 60, so we have to be extra careful. So every day I'm listening to this, you are 60. We have to be extra careful 2 or 3 times a day. I felt very comfortable entering my 60th year. So I would say, the key thing is I was very aware of how we can exasperate our physical condition just by our mental state. And I have experienced certain times in the last 11 days where I felt that the virus load is increasing in my body. I could feel it. And yet my oxygen levels and all of that read normal. I just felt that I didn't want to do certain tasks. So I just allowed myself to be. And it was fine. I think the main thing here is, even if one does get diagnosed as positive. The key thing is to work with this being that has come into your body. I was told very clearly it was like my crowning glory. And I can see why, because I would have interrupted the emergence that was to take place during the time of my 60th birthday. It was a big completion of the past to emerge into the next phase of my life. And that I wouldn't have had the time for that. I would have become very busy with everyone, and I just needed to have that space. So I guess that's why I had a direct encounter and meeting with Mr. Crown, as I call him. So here we are. So let's begin our session today. Our focus today is on gut health. I think we've done something on the gut health when we started the upleveling of the human form. With the work that we did with our dental system, we started focusing our attention on going to that next layer of deep-seated healing of particular nodal systems in our body. Like the dental cavity was a nodal system where so much of, from each tooth onwards to the entire cavity itself, there were so many deep connections to different organs in our body. And not only organs, it also connects to the nadi channels, the dental cavity, which are the channels that cover our entire field, from our physical body all the way to our higher self and back. The gut is another one of those nodal spots in our body. With the 946 breath, you've heard me talk a little bit about the gut and how important that is. And in terms of being a steward and a custodian of all the wisdom that we have amassed from all the various journeys of our soul. They all reside in the gut, and yet it is a physiological organ. And I have been, studying the makeup of the gut. Some of you here know the work that I do sometimes as I use the phrase psychic surgery, and there's some pretty big ones that I've done across the world. And a lot of that work, I begin with the gut. So when I'm engaged in a surgical operation, anywhere, with any person, I work with the gut as a way of allowing the person to remain at ease within themselves whilst that physiological surgical action is being performed. So I have understood the different layers of the gut in that way. So I was very excited about taking this on, like the dental cavity, taking on the gut in that way, and having each layer and each section to become, to up-level itself by being in the attunement of the human vibe, and by doing so, allowing itself to experience the limitless presence and expression of the soul being. The health of the gut has a direct impact on every organ in our body. All the different bodies that we have, the physical body, the ethereal body, the oral body, all of those, the gut has a direct impact on all of those. The gut as a part, physiologically, the gut is it's part of the digestive system. And digestion is a three-part process. There's ingestion involved, then there is absorption, and then there's excretion. So ingestion occurs through the mouth. And, our skin is also an ingestion organ as well as an excretory one. So ingestion occurs, and then whatever we've ingested in the form of food gets digested by different layers of the digestive system. And then food, and then the digested package that is rich in nutrients and nourishment, as well as includes in it material that requires to be excreted, is what the gut receives from the small intestine. In the context of food, the small intestine is a deliverer of that. There are other elements like fat, for example, from the food that we eat, that is processed by the liver. So the liver also has a direct connection to the gut. So the liver does not dump its stuff in our small intestine. It has a direct connection just at the start of the transverse colon where the liver does its dumping of what's in the liver to be released. And often material that is being processed by the liver, fat is a key part of it. And if there is some other stuff that has reached the liver that could cause damage to the body, the liver is the one that wraps these specks with fat so that they don't damage our tissues. And then that fat is, the fat-laden specks are released into the gut. Physiologically, the digestive system is one big muscle. And as a muscle form, it works like any muscle. It has peristalsis. It has, the contraction and release mechanism of any muscle. That's how the digestive system works. The gut and different parts of the digestive system have got, because of the function that they perform, the rhythm of contraction and release varies. And all of this is programmed in at a cellular level, at a tissue level, when the human body is formed by our Creator. When it was originally created, in the blueprint, those of us who are in the technology field, we know what we create. There's an imprint that is created in any technical device that you have. And then you have there's a hardware imprinting, and then there's software that allows that imprinting to actually become functional. So similarly, that imprinting is there in our digestive tract. And we are born with that. And, unless there is something very specific that occurs at the time of conception and at the time of birth, everything is actually quite perfect. Everything remembers what its originating intent is. So it automatically knows how to function. And then we have situations that occur. And emotional stuff kicks in. Mental abilities start getting activated. And that starts to have an impact on the rhythm of the muscle action of the digestive system. And then certain conditions develop. The gut is the one that, so if I'm working on somebody's kidneys, or I'm working on someone who's had an adrenal overload, I first go to the gut. And I usually find that the part of the gut that is connected to the kidneys, that is connected to the adrenals, is often impacted. How does absorption occur from the gut? It occurs through the walls of the gut. So if you were now to just run your tongue around the inside of your mouth, that's how the inside of the gut is. That's level of softness and cleanness that is there. So if you can imagine, if a part of your mouth gets impacted by something really hard, there's that constant inflammation that is there. Be great degree of discomfort if that was to occur in your mouth. And that happens quite regularly with what is going on in our gut. So if I'm working on somebody's kidneys or adrenals, I first go and work on the gut to release that part that is impacted. And when you have impacted fecal matter, it's literally hard as rubber. You can't just rip it apart, it will actually damage the wall. It has to be released literally from the wall of the gut. And even if it is released, it is so hard that it could actually damage your insides as it is coming out of your system. So it's got to be softened enough. Energetically, I just tune into the vibration of all of these elements. And I keep up-leveling the vibration of the area that surrounds it. And that enables vibrational disintegration to take place, and things can then be released from the gut. And that opens up that area that is connected to the kidneys. And what does that do, that release? It actually allows the absorption of nutrients, because not all nutrients are the best for all the organs. There are some nutrients that are for all the organs. There are some that are for particular organs. But if the area that connects the gut to the kidneys is impacted, then the absorption is not taking place. It's starting to further weaken the kidneys. But by opening that up and then making sure that your diet is such that it supports the kidneys, and we can have some other sessions where I talk about, what type of foods to eat and stuff, or when you're working on particular organs. But the bottom line is, you start with the gut, you allow that nourishment to come in to the kidney. So physiologically, the organ is supported. And then the excretion that takes place, takes place. Now, if you have content in the gut where the absorption has not yet taken place, and so you have a lump of food that goes in, some of it is nutrients, another bit is excretion, the gut automatically knows what is to be absorbed and the rest can be released. But when that absorption hasn't taken place, sometimes the food stuff remains there. And other times, you have parasites. And the parasites are often there where the small intestine connects to the large intestine. And literally like these hungry things that are looking for nutrition and nourishment, they just hang in there. So often there's a collection of impacted fecal matter because the absorption has taken place right there. It hasn't yet gone up through the ascended colon, and you start having a collection of, fecal, impacted, hardening fecal matter that then creates a certain level of weight in the colon that actually gets the colon to start prolapsing in different ways. All of this is rectifiable. This is what I have found in doing so much work on the body, but where I start with the gut. So that's why I was very excited about the human vibe attunement guidance to focus on the gut. So we're going to just go ahead and allow this first session to be one that prepares the gut for the human vibe attunement work. So get yourself to be comfortable. Imagine that the base of your spine is connected to the core of the earth. Imagine the middle of your feet are connected to the core of the earth. If you're sitting up with your feet on the floor, that would be ideal. And if you're not able to, that also is ideal. So just receive your comfort and be connected to that. Drop your hands on either side Palms in the front, fingers slightly apart. And allow the tips of your fingers to stretch out. And they're stretching out not by stretching out your fingertips, but they're being stretched out through these golden cords that are just coming out and going into the core of the earth. You're going to start scanning your body, and you will start scanning it from the top of your crown, about 6 inches from your crown, above your crown, and you're going to go in concentric circles. So you begin from the front to the back, scan everything in between. And in your scanning is where the release will take place. You can now put your hands up on your thighs, palms facing upwards. The cords that are connecting you are, today they are primarily made of the precious metal gold, silver, and copper. In the middle of the palm of your left hand is this very unique rock that is only available in Mount Shasta. We call it Shastite. It probably has a different name. So that is here. And it's like, I'm just giving you the energy of the Shastite that I have used, that I received when I was on Mount Shasta, at the time that I first encountered the energy of Saint Germain personally. That's on your left hand. It brings with it the presence of the 1538 ascended masters that are descended and are in our midst across the planet in human form. And the energy of ascended masters is what is there in the palm of your hand. It's there in the palm of your left hand, which actually activates the feminine side of you. The feminine side is particularly in rhythm with the energy of collaborative co-creation, of coexistence, and is also the carrier of life that gets birthed into the planet. In the palm of your right hand is the presence of a very beautiful stone. It's called the lingam. And you usually find it in the banks of a river in India called Narmada. It has a very powerful vibration of deep-seated peace and an inner knowingness that gets activated by it. And the knowingness that it activates is the knowingness that that which no longer serves will automatically be destroyed, creating the space for new to be birthed. Carries with it the energy of Lord Shiva. You're continuing your scanning. You're probably now towards the middle of your waist. So in the front of your waist, the back of your middle back, everything in between, and everything above that, whether you consciously did the clearing or not, it has actually occurred. So you can just very quickly connect to the top of your crown, all the way to the middle of your waist, knowing and feeling. And you can do a quick scan that any energies that no longer serve you are being released to the core of the earth. The front of your abdomen and the back of your lower back and everything in between. The front of your hips, the pelvic, the back of your buttocks, everything in between. The top of your thighs, the back of your thighs, and everything in between. The front of your knees, the back of your knees. the front of your shin, the back of your calf muscles, the top of your ankles, the base of your heel, the top of your foot, the base of your foot, the top of your toes, the base of your toes, the front of your toes. Just in drawing the circle now, the scanning movement is automatic. It's happening. You are completely clear and in your center. You will start noticing that wonderful golden light that starts to rise from the core of the earth, filtered by this golden plank. That's starting to happen. This warmth is building up. Fire is being activated. Like a spark is lit. Fire plays a very important role in gut health. The fire is rising, and we're going to work with your own internal water. Be at least 70%, in some areas even over 90% we are water. So we're going to be working with water. Water, what it does is it literally washes off and brings flow back. Your breath is the air. With every breath you take, you're literally blowing away that which no longer serves. And you are bringing in complete clarity. And with all the golden cords connecting to the core of the earth, we have the earth element. We are activating the gut, connecting it to its two other counterparts, its comrades, the heart and the mind. And we are doing that with the 9-4-6 breath. So breathe in to the count of 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just going to continue breathing. And breathe in love, kindness, and compassion. And breathe out gratitude and peace. You're breathing in. This time your breath is going all the way down your spine into your gut. And you're breathing in love, kindness, and compassion. And you're breathing out gratitude and peace. To prepare your gut, we will be working on this. And we will be going through organ by organ. Today is the preparation. And in this preparation, I will receive a pretty good gauge of how much time is to be spent on which organ and whether our work in the human vibe attunement can combine one or two organ connections through the gut. Today, I'm just preparing your gut for that work to occur. And as you're breathing in, now imagine the breath is going in and it's going down your digestive tract all the way down to your gut. And your breath is the air element activated. So it's blowing off that which causes clutter and confusion. Again, you're breathing in love, kindness, and compassion, and breathing out gratitude and peace. The gut responds very powerfully, very positively to light. And I'm actually going to invoke certain light frequencies. And they are in the form of monochromatic light. Monochromatic light brings in the color therapy along with light frequency. So what I'm doing is I'm aware of there are 5 different layers that affect gut health. And I'm guided to line each of those layers with its own ability to access a very specific monochromatic light frequency. So there are the 4 colors that are being infused in your gut, and they are there in the different layers. We have monochromatic blue, monochromatic green, monochromatic orange, and monochromatic violet. And it's like one of those sleep systems, where you lie on it and it molds itself to the shape of your body. It's a little bit like that this light frequencies are working in your gut. Different people's gut is shaped differently based on the health of the gut. So these lights, there'll be certain parts of the gut where there will be a greater need for violet, where your inner wisdom is going to connect to your ancient wisdom. And that is going to enable the gut to recalibrate and release stuff that might be stuck to its walls. So there you will have a greater application of the violet light. Your body is going to recalibrate itself. There'll be other parts of the gut where your own expression of your I am frequency has been tampered with, and it requires the orange light. And orange light will be there to a larger extent to enable the absorption of the nutrients to that particular organ that is connected to that aspect of the gut. Where your expression, your self-expression has been hampered, there will be a greater influx of blue light. The green light is the one that is actually lining up the entire gut for everyone. The other lights are there in patches, depending on what your need is. That's what we have launched. We are now going to up-level the attunement of what we have just placed in your gut, so that over the next couple of days before we meet again on Thursday, with soft, gentle, certain, inspired velocity, your gut will start to recalibrate. So we are up-leveling the frequency by doing the human vibe attunement chant. So repeat after me. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. This is your human form making this declaration. The human form now has that inner confidence of being in harmony and at one with your soul presence, knowing that your soul is free to, wants to, and allows itself to express itself fully through the human form. The human form itself is in the attunement and in the rhythm of owning its innate vibrational frequency of love. So by doing this attunement chant, we're going to do 3 more of these, and with a very specific focus on the preparation of the gut. With all of these light frequencies, the light frequencies themselves are now in the terrain of love. Love is an amplifying frequency. So their work, which could have been hampered because of constraints and confines based on human psyche, is actually unleashed because we have up-levels the vibrational frequency of the human form, so that it is in the attunement of being a vessel of amplification, with love as the innate vibration that is being amplified. 3 more. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. We're anchoring all of this and opening up consciously all of your 13 chakras to allow life force energy to continue to move through your body as we commence this significant healing and repair work and reconstruction work. Breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands in front of your third eye and rub them against each other until they're warm. They'll warm up much faster than they have ever done before. You've really got that fire going right now. Okay, put your palms over your eyes, open your eyes in them, take them on top of your head, the back of your head, on either side, and do an energy sweep and blow. The human vibe attunement itself is complete. So if you have a time constraint and you need to leave, please go ahead and leave. And if you can be here and share your one word to complete this session that encapsulates what you are present to, that would be really great. So please go ahead and put that in the chat as we speak. Gut attunement was so powerful, felt lighter, moving effortlessly in flow. Flow, powerful. Moving effortlessly, yes. Powerful, powerful. Thank you. Full of love. Inner smiles. Yes, that's what we're doing. Each breath is very precious. Yes. Higher plane, gratitude, expanded love. Thank you. Many blessings. Recovery that was deeply needed. Yes. wonderfully positive feeling, peaceful knowingness. Just watch, observe yourself over the next several days, several hours. Be kind and gentle. Know that there is a recalibration physiological that is taking place. We haven't yet worked on bringing your gut to remember what its originating intent is. And we will do that at the next session. But just allow it to recalibrate. Go into the human vibe attunement chant yourself if you feel any form of discomfort. I'm not expecting that there should be. Share in the group that we are all a part of. Thank you so much for being here. It's always difficult to end these calls. And we are going to complete. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Magnificence, powerful knowingness, indeed. Congruence, yes. Healing, love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Heal well, yes. Thank you. I am. I'm very well protected. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to be closing the meeting room now. Thank you so much.